Go ahead. All the best.
Hello friends, myself Nirmay Soman. My today's book presentation is about a 11-year-old child and how Bhagavad Gita teachings helps to overcome his challenges. About author Sonal Sajdev Patel is the author of this book, and Sonal Sajdev Patel is the CEO of God My Silent Partner Foundation, a family foundation established by her parents. Gemma Vaina Curtin is also author of this book, and Gemma Vaina is the author of 3 novels, After Before, Chains of Sand, and To Dare. She has been longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. Next slide, please. Let's see author's purpose. It's time that the Gita is presented in its true context, not as a religious book, but as a book that is relevant to everybody's life. In this chapter, to his father. Recently, he lost his father. The author has shown the deep pain that child goes through after losing his father. One day, in all the frustration and anger, he saw a mini creature coming around him from the air. This tiny creature was Sanjay. Sanjay said, I know the battle going inside you, inside your body. There is a bodily kingdom, and a wicked prince ego has taken control on your body. But there is also a great warrior, Arjun, inside you. We must ask Arjun to help defeat Prince Ego. So Sanjay says, let me go inside your body and find Arjun and ask him to help. Like Dev, in a human body, there are 3 things: bodily kingdom, and a wicked prince ego has taken control on our body too. So we need to find our great warrior Arjun to defeat Prince Ego. Next slide, please. The journey begins. So the journey begins. Sanjay enters Dev's body to search Arjun. The damage to the bodily kingdom was too great, too impactful. Dev was suffering, and because Sanjay was inside, he could feel the pain. Author has explained how Sanjay is madly searching for Arjun inside Dev's body. Next. Here, the author shows the dark side inside every human. As Sanjay moves inside Dev's body in search of Arjun, the path was full with all Prince ego people like greed, fear, hatred, anger, non-cooperation. From all these, still he doesn't give up. As he had promised Dev, he still help him come out of it. His journey continues. Next slide, please. The beginning of stillness. Things were changing inside Dev. Thoughts raced through his mind. He realized his mistakes. He had calmed down. Next slide, please. The Kriya Key. Sanjay reached, but there was lock. He searched for the key, but later he found last bead of the Kriya Mala was like the key. He opened it and saw a world full of water, houses broken, people crying, all mess around. He saw lots of people saying Prince Ego nurtured them when they came initially. They were selfish, destroyed things. Lots of thoughts started pouring in Dev's mind. Suddenly, water started dripping. It was Dev crying, and hence it helped to move the magical force that pulled Singh up the stream and towards Arjun. Next slide, please. The great warrior. Here, Sanjay could see the battle inside Dev. On one hand, he see ego's great army. On other side, he could see smaller army than ego. At last found Arjun. Sanjay's heart felt now he is just few moments away from destroying the wicked prince ego. Dev was saved. It describes the battlefield and conversation between Arjun and Krishna after Arjun said he don't want to fight. Next slide, please. No weapon can pierce the soul, no fire can burn it. Here, the author explained last right's journey that Dev did for his father. Months later, at Sanjay's urging, Dev tried to be still once more. It was not his mother's fault that they had to move house. It was not his father's fault that he was gone. Next, Krishna, father, mother, best friend, beloved. Look, my friend, to the higher lands. I know you don't want to confront your kin, but they have buried their soul within. They wait for you. Karma is like a mathematical law. What's next depends on what's done before. Next slide, please. The beginning of understanding. It is hard to describe the shift that they felt to those who have not felt it. But suddenly they found his mind calm. All anger and thoughts dissolved. They sat in a meditative state like his father. Next slide, please. The spiritual eye. Sanjay was eager to see the effect of Arjun's victory on wicked prince ego. The author has beautifully described Sanjay's inside journey on coming out. The spiritual eye took cruel, easy, giant leap. Sanjay, loyal and true. Sanjay arrived in front of Dev. Sanjay narrated the battlefield scene to Dev and how Arjun won. Soon Dev's mother was arriving, and hence Sanjay said goodbye and disappeared, saying, I will see you tomorrow. Next slide, please. In this book, we saw 11-year-old Dev's father dies. He can't stop lashing out at those he loves until he meets Sanjay, a spirit like being who claims the incredible that there is a battle raging inside Dev's own body. Sanjay embarks on a journey beginning in the darkest room at bottom of Dev's spine as he searches for the noble warrior Arjun, the only hope to defeat wicked prince ego. Sanjay encounters starving mobs, thieving gangs, water world, and lands of fire. Until at last he finds Arjun on the battlefield, ready to fight for Dev, but then Arjun hesitates. In a transformative reimagining of this classic moment from the Gita, the battle between good and evil becomes a modern and cruel fight for their happiness and his soul. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Okay, very good, fantastic, very powerful concepts. Okay, so everybody, please start sharing your learnings, and I will communicate with Nirmay as usual. Okay, yes, PTY. First of all, PTY for the Nirmay. At this age, he is reading the book which is talking about Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata. Okay, so let's PTY and start sharing your learnings. Up to then, I will communicate with the Nirmay. Yes, Nirmay. Uh, After a long time, you are presenting a book, and why you selected this specific book? हेच पुस्तक का निवडलं?
Okay. तर ऍक्च्युली आपल्या बुक आपल्या क्लासमध्ये म्हणजे या क्लासमध्ये सेशनमध्ये आदित्य आदित्य दादांनी पहिले भगवद्गीताचा अध्याय सगळे लर्न केले आणि आपल्याला सांगितले. तर मला म्हणून असं वाटलं की मला भगवद्गीताशी रिलेटेड बुक चूज करायला आवडेल.
Okay, very. So you got inspired,
माझ्या
Dada. Very good. Okay, what you personally learn from this book?
तर या बुक मधनं मला आपल्या ह्युमन बॉडीमध्ये 3 थिंग्स असतात, म्हणजे बॉडीली किंगडम, विकेट प्रिन्स इगो आणि अर्जुन द ग्रेट वॉरियर. हे 3 गोष्ट आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये असतात हे मला कळालं. आणि आपल्याला आपला अर्जुन फाईंड करायला पाहिजे, जो की आपल्याला इगोशी जिंकवणार.
So how to find our Arjuna?
बाय मेडिटेशन, म्हणजे असे स्पिरिच्युअल थॉट्स का स्पिरिच्युअल पॉझिटिव्ह.
Amazing, amazing. So one quality you like about Arjun.
पॉझिटिव्हिटी त्याची. आणि
Hmm.
आणि तो सरेंडर करायचा त्याच्या, म्हणजे जे त्याचे गुरु सांगायचे तो तेच करायचा, म्हणजे त्याच्या विरुद्ध नाही करायचं.
Very fun. PTY and others. Let's share your learnings from the book.